Ladies and gentlemen, hello. We are live, and you are listening to us whenever you're listening to us. This is Josh from the Holy Buckets Podcast, and we got Father Pat Mullen here. What up, Pat? What are you doing?
I'm blessed, Josh. How are you? Happy Lent. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. No meat in this body. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're rocking with the best, the Holy Buckets Podcast. And in today's episode number 82, I believe, we're going to get to triple digits here, Pat.
Wow. I just, there's so many people I want to thank. I want to thank my family. I want to thank God. I want to thank you, Josh, but not as much. I never would have made it here without you guys.
Very good. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're feeling the love, go ahead and hit subscribe right now and follow us on all the platforms, wherever you go, because we got a special guest tonight, a friend of Father Patty and now of the Holy Ruckus, Santonio Hill from Vagabond Missions. And so we're gonna bring him on here in a little bit after the intro. But Pat, what should our listeners expect? You know this guy.
Santonio, aka not San Antonio. I can't wait to tell this story. This man has like one of the most genuine, like authentic, loving hearts that you'll ever met. I'm gonna hype him too badly. He's a knucklehead. He's a goofball. He's another brother just like myself, who's just trying to fight and scrap his way towards the Lord. And so yeah, brace yourselves because we're gonna bring the heat.
Awesome. Here we go. Holy Ruckus. Here we go.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
Let's bring the ruckus.
Why were you made? I was made to be happy. The way to be happy is to know truth and to love goodness. In other words, I am made for God.
Pero quiero lío en las dioses. Quiero que se salga afuera.
You are now listening to the Holy Ruckus Podcast.
Hello. We are live. What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
It's here. We made it to the day.
There you go, the highlight of Father Pat's week. Well, aside from Sunday, Father. Aside
guys,
from your Sunday.
I have known about this for to the listeners out there. I have known about this conversation for I don't know how long we've been, punting around looking for the right time or the right, whatever. I guess for a few weeks, and I've been trying my best not to not to judge like my other experiences in light of like how hyped and excited I am for this conversation right now, because everything else pales in comparison. Not the Eucharist, not Mass.
Yikes. Easy, man. With the sacramental life, putting it under the bus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome Santonio Hill. Thanks so much for being with us. Santonio is can we say a working missionary at Vagabond Missions? Can we say that? Like, is that
absolutely
the missionary life, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And then you're originally from the DMV, from Southern Maryland, a former seminarian. And so I caught wind of you, Santonio. Well, one, because the seminary is so white. So I was like, all right, who's this big black guy? And right. I knew, and I'm sure you get that a lot, my man. And so when I know you discerned out and you knew doing big things up in Philly, when it was Anthem Philly, correct? You used to work for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, right?
Right, yeah.
Awesome. And now you're over in Pitt, man. So and anyway, so we're going to treat you just the same like we do every other guest. We're going to put you through the ringer. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to do overrated, underrated. So how it starts off, I'm going to shout you something, and then you're going to tell me, Hot Take City, man, whatever you think is overrated or underrated, or maybe something is properly rated here in this Lenten season. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's hit me with it.
Hey, I'm going to hit you with it. Here we go. So let me see here. All right, let me mess around here. All right. So Santonio Hill, overrated, underrated. Let's go. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't want to get you into trouble here, but
I mean, they went undefeated for like 11 games, maybe 12, but their whole schedule was easy, man. Overrated.
Overrated.
Yeah,
and
Washington football team wasn't one to stomp them. We wouldn't want to make them,
Yeah.
Are you big on Washington football team fan?
Football team.
I mean, I don't really watch it too much no more, but I gotta rep the home team.
That's it. You better.
That's right. Gotta rep the home team. Washington wasn't suck, but I still gotta rep the home team. You know,
all right. Better man than me. Let's go. And so since you're in Pittsburgh, so I went to school at Franciscan University, a stone throws away from Pitt, about 45 minutes. And I never checked this place out, but people swear by it. Permane Brothers sandwiches, overrated, underrated.
Overrated, man. I mean, I think it's drunk. It's the bread soggy, the French fries not crispy. Come on, man. They say get like the burger with man. It's not even a discussion. I honestly rather have Subway than Permane.
No.
I mean, at least you can, if you want to take your girl to a nice place where they make the food right in front of you, a Subway. Permane's just somewhere in the back, like
there you go.
I rather eat fresh.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So for all those out there,
sponsorship.
Antonio says if you gotta take your lady to a nice dinner, I know Valentine's Day passed, but Subway is forever. Subway is forever.
If you love her, eat fresh.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. How about this? Let's keep going here. Let's go music. Overrated, underrated, the Catholic music scene. We're talking like if there is a scene. We're talking modern day stuff, contemporary things.
Matt Maher, Audrey Assad.
Oh yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, to each his own. I don't really listen to them a whole lot, but I do listen to a couple Catholic rappers.
Go ahead.
And so I'm gonna say, so one, Cody Free, that's my guy. He's great. Another one, John Levi. Another one, C26. So I would say all of these guys underrated. They don't get the proper due.
So you wouldn't put your boy up there, the Righteous B?
Come on now. don't make me do that to him.
On
this podcast.
So for the folks that don't know, Santonio, who is Righteous B to you now where you're working?
So Righteous B, his name is Bob Lesniewski. He's the founder of Vagabond. Used to be a rapper. He retired after he put out his second solo album and it flopped. So nobody really talk about that dude a whole lot. I think out in Steubenville, he's a big deal, but everywhere else I could be wrong too. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say he's overrated.
There you go. Hot takes right here. Okay.
Oh, we got shade on this podcast.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. If I ever did a rap song, I tell him I need a feature.
There you go. I need a feature. There you go. Lenten sacrifices. I mean, I probably know the answer to this, but overrated, underrated. How about you? Go ahead.
I mean, I think they're just the right amount of being rated. I think they're properly rated. You should always have figure out something to do in your prayer life, or just I don't know, give up sweets or whatever. It just will enhance your faith and your prayer life. It enhances your relationship with God. That's the purpose of it. So it can't be underrated and it can't be overrated.
There you go. Right. Okay. So I know with Father Pat and I, we're doing Exodus 90 and we're struggle busting it. How about you, man? What do you, is there something you feel at liberty that you could say that you're doing, that you're taking on?
Yeah, that's tough, man. Exodus 90 is no joke. I did that one last year.
There you go.
But this year, I'm giving up soda because I drink it way too much. I'm addicted. Sprite. But if Sprite did give me a little endorsement, I'll pick it up quick. No,
that Kobe endorsement.
Need that.
You're thirsty.
You're thirsty. And then I've been picking up the rosary again. I just have a hard time just staying consistent with it, and that's something that Mary's been such a big part of my entire vocation, and so I just need to get back in the groove of just praying the rosary. So really keeping it super simple, and I'm doing that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And then let's go. Most overrated saint. This is one where you get to actually name something. Most overrated saint. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel it's kind of rough. I feel bad saying this, but Little Flower, man. Saint Teresa. That's my girl. And that's my girl.
Haven't that one yet.
No,
No.
that's my girl, man. But I mean, sometimes you can read it and you're like, wow, she complained because of what now? You know, come on, man. Come on. There's a lot of suffering going on over here, and it's like, oh, this one person, such and such. It's like, all right.
Right.
She needs to come out and do missionary life with Santonio real quick, see the inner city, and then complain.
Right. I mean, yeah, we got kids who just like, yeah, they'll disrespect you quick, man. They call you ugly. They might try and fight you.
I know, sure.
It's just a little different.
I feel you. Well, thank you so much, man, for surviving the underrated, overrated. Didn't get you into too much trouble. So there you go. Let's get into it, man. And so like the topic of the day is kind of like your mission work and kind of seeing what's up. We got someone here joining us. Father Pat, you know her?
Hello, Cassie. How you doing? Thanks for joining.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question or a comment, want to say hello to Santonio or Father Pat or myself, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below and we'll post them right here on the screen. But let's get right into it, man. And kind of what I really wanted to focus on having you here with us is that mission life, but also like, how has your Lent been going? I know you're recently engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us, man, how has your Lenten season been going? Has it been penitential? Has it been like lackluster, loafing? How is it?
Loafing, man. I ain't heard that word in a minute. People they don't speak like that out here. Yeah. So like I know I said I only did like the rosary and keeping it simple, but I've also like as a team, we've also decided to take up not complaining. And so I would say I've been like pretty mindful of that because that helps me with my own just, I don't know, pride. Sometimes I feel like if I can complain about something, I feel like I can kind of like be bigger than something or a little, you know, I don't know, sometimes just like poke my chest out. It sounds weird, but if you ever complain and you can correlate pride to it, try it.
Sure.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So like the not complaining and praying the rosary. I mean, I would say it hasn't been anything like monumental. That's just been like, that's blown me away quite yet. You know, I'm sure God will do it soon, but you know, actually, let me stop faking. So like one thing that like really kind of came up, this actually is in a relationship between my fiance and her name's Kristen. She brought up to me that she thinks that I might need some counseling. Like, you know, it's like, hey, I think you got a little something you got going on in your life right now. You should take it to counseling. And I'm like, nah, don't play me. I don't need counseling. And, she said, that's exactly what a person who needs counseling would say. And I'm like, of course he would hit me with that. And then I went to confession later on after that conversation. The priest, I like, you know, confess my sins. The priest is like, you know what? You probably never heard this before, but you can use some counseling. And I'm like, dang, it's on a Christy right now. So he might be telling the truth. And then there was another, I wanted to go hear this talk. A speaker named Paul J. Kim. He gave a talk about just honestly a bunch of stuff. But like within it, he said, hey guys, counseling isn't weird. Like it's not like therapy. It don't have to be a long period of time, you know, something that you can just kind of like go 6, maybe 7, 8 times, work out what you need to work out, and you grow, you become better after that. And so I think I'm about to get hit with the counseling when I go, if that makes sense.
It does, man. And I vibed right with you because I know as a Latino man, culturally, that's like people dumb it down, or they just bat it. They say, well, that's not manly, right? And I'm sure that's a big thing. At first we front like, that's not for me, that's for the ladies, or you know, or that's for somebody else. You got the wrong one. But no, absolutely. I can understand that because I've had to go and usually it was a pastor, a spiritual father that recommended it. And it was always a combination, right? It was a combination of spiritual direction, right? And then the clinical side of it. I mean, I think that's an untapped resource, man. So I'm so glad you said something like that.
Yeah,
for real. Actually, that's probably the most Lenten thing that you could, like, Lenten message that you could share with us. You know, it's like go get right with the Lord. Like go take time in the desert with him. And that's in lots of different ways. It's not just when you're burning through those beads, connecting with Mary, or talking to your boo, talking to Shorty, or talking to,
Yo, no.
things out on the street, between man to man, heart to heart,
Right.
with your bros. But like when we've got to get right with God, we go to confession. When we got to get right in our head, we talk it out. We go find somebody.
Dang, man, you're really good about that answer. I appreciate that.
I think it's definitely Lenten though. Like, isn't that like what it is? Like dying to self. Like the whole thing is like, I'm gonna clutch this and I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna white knuckle this thing this whole way. I think that's so. The fact that we even consider it, the fact that we're even talking about going to see clinical, accompaniment, right? I think it's something that we don't do enough. So shout out. So that's good. So I'm gonna write that down for me and my wife. We'll see what we got going on. But tell us about your journey, brother. Like, how did you end up where you're at? I mean, Southern Maryland. I know folks in Southern Maryland. It's
Come on, man.
I see them in the seminary. I'm not gonna typecast you, man.
Come on,
Speak up, man. Where are the brothers at? Like, why in the seminary they don't come on? It's not diverse. I don't get it. Are there Latinos there too? Are they in the back? What are we doing?
Hold on. Let me set up Santonio a little bit. I'm gonna lay the trap for you because
the trap. Okay.
I gotta hype him by paying him the compliment that so you were, unsurprisingly, I think you got the hookup with the Lesnevsky brothers, that they had you in the Advent Made Simple, right? Yeah. You did that this past year. My parishioners loved y'all. They ate it up. They ate that up. They loved the series. And I felt, by extension, that makes me feel good because I'm like, I know these guys. I know some of these peeps. They're my bros. That's my younger brother. And so like, okay, you've made it, man. I don't know if you feel like you've made it, but like you're in the circle now. Like it's out there.
Lacrosse Walker.
I don't feel like it.
I'd say so. The Lord is using you, bro. So like, if he's got you in his arms for his glory, like you describe yourself in one of those videos as like, so I'm straight country.
So go
country. Bring it. Talk about it. Tell me about it.
So tell us where you're from, man. I mean, yes, Archdiocese of Washington, but give us a little bit more. Come on.
Yeah. So so I'm from Southern Maryland, St. Mary's County, born and raised in Lexington Park, Maryland. It's just, you heard Father Pat said I'm straight country. I used to be, at least. Now I got around these city folk. They walk fast. They talk fast. My girl is city girl. So she talk fast. But yeah, man, it's you want to know like how I got to the seminary and like my whole like journey, how I like met Christ and all that? Oh, he gone. Oh, he back.
I'm here. I'm back. No, man, just because we do got to get to Vagabond, right? But how did we get that from where we were, right?
Yeah. Southern Maryland to Vagabond.
Yeah. So, geez, man. So when I was in high school, when I was in high school, I really didn't care for school a whole lot. I was a social butterfly, so I enjoyed talking to everybody, hanging out. Went to like 3 lunches. I was like that guy, you know what I mean? And I played football my senior year and ended up getting a scholarship to play for a school out in Baltimore. Didn't end up taking it, and this is the reason why. So I'm also a cradle Catholic. I went to church on Sundays. If I missed a Sunday, it wasn't that big of a deal, but as I got older, it became a bigger deal for me in high school. And so one Sunday after Mass was over, Father Scott Woods, phenomenal, legendary priest. If y'all don't know,
he's the man.
There we go.
The legend.
Yeah, he is, man. And so he came chasing after me after Mass was over. And he was like, "Hey, Santonio, hey, how you doing, buddy?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm good. I'm about to go home and get some to eat. What's up?" And he was like, "What are you doing after you graduate high school?" And so I told him about the scholarship that I had. And he said, oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I plan on like actually going to the NFL one day. And if I don't make it, then do like physical therapy or whatever, yada, yada. He said, wow, that's an awesome plan. I said, yeah, thanks. You know, worked on that hard myself. And he said, how about, he said, have you ever given any thought to like go to the seminary? And I said, what's that? And he said, oh, it's the place where men go to study to be priests. And I said, oh, I see what you're trying to do. Like in my mind, I said, oh, I see what this is about. But out loud, I said, oh, okay. Yeah, no, never give it any thought. I got plans. I want to get married. I want to do the whole thing. And he said, well, why don't you pray about it? And I said, I'll sleep on it. And so that night, I had this dream. I remember the dream very vividly. So I'll just tell you. So I had this dream where I was in this long line of Little League football, and all these little kids had like helmets on, shoulder pads, footballs in hand, like ready to go, cleats, everything ready to go. And this line led to like a bunch of like mountains, hills, and valleys. And at the end of the line was, the start of the line, I guess. Yeah, my bad. At the end of the line, it was a castle. And this castle was just massive. It was huge. And like later on thinking about it, that castle, I think in my dream, the way I interpret it is the kingdom of God. And I finally like make my way inside this castle, and there's a table, and seated at the middle of the table is a bishop, and on the other side are two priests. And so I walk forward, and they like slide me a sheet of paper, and I got a pen in my hand. Obviously, it's a dream, so it just appeared. And so I'm like signing my name away, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, they want my autograph. They know I'm about to blow up. Like where I'm from, like where I'm from, people don't get scholarships really for like sports. Really, it's just a country bum, you know what I mean? Kind of the way I grew up with it, at least. Now St. Mary's County is like kind of booming. But anyway, so I'm like, maybe they want my autograph. Who knows? Maybe it's like a commercial or something like that. I don't know. But I'm about to get paid, baby. So I slide it back to them. They take out this huge stamp. They stamp it. And they say, congratulations, now you're a priest. And I'm like, whoa, mistake. I'm like, give me that. Let me rip that up. Oh, that ain't cool. And so like I woke up from that dream, and I like tried wrestling with it for a while. It kind of like bothered me, you know, like I didn't have a prayer life. I wasn't a disciple by any means. I would go to youth group, but I wouldn't go. Shout out to Beth Allen. That's my homie. Yo, she's so dope. She was a youth group leader, youth minister. I wouldn't really go because I like cared about God. I would go because I knew he was going to have something to eat, and I knew he was going to play basketball.
That's why everybody goes at first.
And like being at like at a public school, you know, sometimes you got to sharpen up your skills when you're talking to the honeys. You know what I'm saying? And so I would use like little pickup lines every now and again on some of the homeschool girls that would go to youth group. They had no clue what I was saying. They were like, "Oh wow, he's so funny," and I'm like, "Haha, that's gonna work." Check.
Hit us with one. Wait, which one did you hit? Wait, no, I gotta know. I gotta pause. So these are these Catholic homeschoolers? Like, so I married a homeschooler myself, and she's a farmer's daughter, but she's from rural Minnesota, and she thought I was city, but I'm a suburban kid, you know, Moco. But what were some of the lines you could hit, or at least one? Do you know one?
One line.
Do it like on Pat.
All right.
Just how you come off. Just how you would come off. Yeah, I'm gonna remove myself. Hold on, and go ahead and do it.
Dang, how you doing?
Oh, you know.
You know I love you, right?
You love me?
Yeah, even though I don't like know everything about you. You know, I love you. The same way I love a pizza. Like, I don't know all the ingredients and everything that's made into a pizza, but I love you.
Oh, I love pizza.
What? Yo, you got no game, man. I don't know if that's gonna work with the honeys.
So you didn't even have like a Catholic hook to this. It was just
hit him with the.
because I've heard some gnarly Catholic pickup lines.
Oh, I ain't need him. I was already too good looking.
Oh, see, there you go, Pat. When you got the looks, not like
I
you
ain't
stripped the radio
For
face,
me,
Pat.
this would not have worked out for me at all. It might have worked on me, but this would not have worked out for me at all. I don't have that game. Like, I've been saying nerdy things like, okay, so I'm steal this from one of the students I was interacting with during Seek. Dang, girl, when Jesus, when Jesus meets me, he's going to need to rub some dirt in my eyes because you've blinded me with your beauty.
Ooh.
Ooh. Get him, killing him.
Like, I have to use, I've used corny stuff, so, well, we know the rest of the story now.
And that's why you're We're getting off. Okay. Wait, so then let's transition. Like, so obviously that dream is powerful. And
Yeah.
does that, now that you're, discerned out, like, does that dream still hold water? What do you think that dream was now?
Oh, I mean, I'll go back to it, and I think, like, so the kingdom of God was like that castle symbolized the kingdom of God to me. In football, those like little league football players, those kids, I mean, they just I interpreted them as just worldly things, and I need to not look down, and I just need to be focused on the kingdom of God for the entirety of my life. Like, that's just like the message for me that I received from it. And I equated it to Peter when he was walking on water. When he walked on water, he was good as long as his eyes was fixated on Christ. But as soon as he looked down, it was all over. And so I don't think God was saying like that would be football for me. But like, if I base my identity in football, then I would be done. I would be miserable. But if I base my identity in him, then I'm good. And so I took it as that.
There you go. And then wow. And then just off the break, this is totally random. Were you a left tackle, or were you a tackle on offensive line, or?
Yeah, so it was my first year playing, actually.
Yeah,
and I
placed you right away. I'm an O-line coach. I'm an offensive line coach. So I was like,
oh, okay, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you tackle. And then when you were in Philly, did anybody ever mistake you for? You look exactly like Trey Thomas. I don't know if you know who Trey Thomas is. He's He was a Philadelphia Eagles left tackle, and the profile.
Any like around here in Pittsburgh, I went into a Popeyes the other day, and this dude looked at me up and down, and he was like, "You a Steelers, ain't you?" I'm like, nah, but if you want an autograph, $60.
There you go. Man.
We all have to.
I get mistaken for like a Pittsburgh Steeler all the time down here. I don't know why.
So I love that, man. Like, so what started as just like an invitation to, hey, why don't you discern being a priest, actually became an invitation of, hey, why don't you, actually discern a life with me? And that's the thing. When we think of vocations, a lot of times I think, especially with men, if they're dudes and they're into their faith, then they automatically are cast into, hey, you should, look under the rock and see, which is good to a degree. I mean, that has to happen. Yeah. But can you talk about your seminary experience and how that kind of molded you to be now getting ready to get married? I mean, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's good on that money.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does, man. I think me being in the seminary, like I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't have that formation. My first year was dreadful. I ain't gonna lie. I was in New York, and it was just too much freedom going on up there, and so I didn't take it seriously. I would fall asleep every day on purpose in adoration. Like one day I brought a pillow with me, and I said, I'm snuggling up, bro. Like, I don't know what else to do at this time. We here for an hour for what? Like, I don't even understand what's going on here.
Oh, no. This is Yonkers? Is this like, where is this?
Yeah, it's Yonkers.
Okay, because Father, I remember, because I went on a little come and see joint and then I didn't know. I'm pretty sure, Father Pat, you were there because Mahano was there, and Father Scott Woods was the one that set it up. Yeah. So I went with a bunch of people, bunch of kids in high school out there. But go ahead.
We might have went the same year.
Did the bus tire bust? Did the tire blow off?
I don't remember.
I remember that. Like we were driving up there, and then somebody was driving, and then all of a sudden they needed a spare tire because that thing just exploded.
God.
And we were safe. We made it. But I just remember they had everything. They had a mini fridge full of like drinks, like non-alcoholic drink, like orange juice and cranberry juice and apple juice. And I was like, sign me up, man. If this is what it is, go for it. If I can have a slice right up the road, or going down to the city, and a fridge full of juice and some TV, and that was when I don't know if you remember. This is how I know like timestamp when it was. It was when the I'm deep cutting for basketball. It was when the Pacers fought the Detroit Pistons, the Malice at the Palace.
Oh, okay.
That's when I went, because all the guys woke me up and said there's a fight on TV, and so it was like WWE. But I don't know if you were there at that time.
That was before me.
I would have remembered. But anyway, yeah. Awesome, man. And so, okay, so seminary formation was good.
Yeah, that first year was rough, bro. I
bet.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie though, it wasn't like a good way to ease me into Catholicism. I don't think there is no one good way to do it. Like coming from this type of lifestyle where I was just living for the world in high school. And so like to go from that to like mass on Sunday, but I paid attention, I listened to Father Scott, what he had to say in his homily. But like I didn't really know everything else that was happening. So to go from I would say bare basic Catholic to where they make priests, what I mean? It's like, oh, put me in a hyperbolic time chamber. I'm about to level up on my Dragon Ball Z out here. Like this is just, I will see guys that's like walking around with rosaries and like holding breviaries and Bibles, like closing their eyes, like praying everywhere they go. And I'm like, all right, man. So it was just like a good way to intro to like.
Santonio, that just means that you were too real. You were too real for them. Like that just means that you knew who you were, and they were I got no patience, man. I got no patience for these seminarians, walking around trying to look like John Vianney, trying to look all spaced out,
and out of all the priests to make
coming
one.
upon their brains, like the Holy Spirit is whispered in their ear, please spare me, Lord Jesus. No,
hot take, man. We got to do that for the overrated, underrated. I didn't know St. John Vianney was going to get lit up here.
There's the original gangster, and then there's all them people
posers.
trying to be like, look at me.
Oh my gosh.
They do this thing with the foot, the thing where they're like, is that the right angle?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
you haven't
about?
seen that, have you? I saw that at Franciscan.
Because John Vianney's always posed or whatever, where he's like, if you show me the way to ours, I will show you the way to heaven. And like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. And when it's like, God flipping called Santonio for that time, in seminary. Like I'm not stealing your story from you.
No, take it.
He wanted you. He wanted you in seminary. He could have made 2 Joshes. He could have made 2 Pats. He could have made more Scotts. Thank God he only made 1 Scott Woods. But I'm just saying, he called you, and bringing your pillow into chapel, man. Bringing
That's
your
all you. That's all you. Praise the Lord. He still wants you after that. Very good. And then that brings you to discerning out. And did you kind of loaf around some more, or did you already know what you wanted to do? Where'd you wanted to go? Where you wanted to go?
Yeah, I just want to before I get to the discerning out part, I definitely after leaving that first year in New York, and learning the language of the Catholic Church a little bit more. We went down to DC, studied at Catholic U, stayed at the St. John Paul II Seminary, and things were ordered right for me to be able to grow. I still had a lot that I needed to work on. I still had a rocky heart that needed to be melted by the sun to be moldable like clay. But yeah, after having the actual encounter, those dreams that I had was an encounter with God, but then God the Father. And then I had like encounters with Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Well, I would just say Jesus, actually. I had encounters with Jesus while I was in the seminary, which allowed me to really pray and discern well. But yeah, after discerning out, I taught for a year at Holy Family. I think that school's like shut down now or something like that. Yeah,
way to go, man.
you know. I don't even know what to say to that one.
They say we're gonna close these doors now.
We all got to know when it's time to go. It's going to be time at some point. You just got to know when it's time to go.
There you go. So you taught for a little bit, and
then I got into focus. I got into being a focus missionary, where Father Pat supported your boy for a little bit. You know what I mean? Did my 3 years in and out, boom. And there I really learned how to like evangelize and grow my faith. Like in seminary, I think Father Carter Griffin said this, or maybe somebody else, but I'll give him the credit because that's my boy. I mean, he's my guy. He said, like, in the seminary, you get stored up with so much information, kind of like a refrigerator. And then when you leave, you're finally able to like give the goods that you've been given, that you've been stored up for so long. And so I felt like after everything that's just been stored into me, like given to me in seminary, all the gifts that I've been given of that formation, I was able to like put it into actualization while being a focused missionary for 3 years. And then did that, ended up at Temple University, and that's where I left. That's also where I met my fiance. And then I worked for the Archdiocese of Philly for 2 years doing urban outreach. And then I left there last summer. Summer 2020. Didn't end the greatest, but it ended. And it led me to do Vagabond, to be a Vagabond missionary. And I wasn't going to be a Vagabond missionary. I was really... nursing, being a nurse, they call it a nurse, I guess. It's been like, it's something that I think God put on my heart a few years ago, and it's always been there, and I've never had the opportunity to like pursue it. So I was trying to pursue that after realizing that like things in Philadelphia wasn't going as planned. But then like George Floyd, like his murder on TV, like that just, it sparked something in me to like want to give back some more, because I had thought I was done with ministry as a job. And after seeing that, I'm like, man, like growing up as a Black man, and having Black parents, my dad wasn't in my life, so my mom always taught me how to survive. But a lot of times I see like other friends of mine, or like, especially in the seminary, those guys, they were taught how to thrive in America. But I was like, most of the time, like Blacks and Latinos, and honestly, where I'm from, also in St. Mary's County, there's a lot of white folks that also are poor. If you don't got a base job, then you're not making a killing typically. And so they're also taught how to survive in America. And after like seeing that, like, and I've seen videos like that and pictures and all that stuff for like my entire life. And I just got fed up. I'm like, I'm tired of learning, like teaching generations of my people how to survive. They need to learn how to thrive. And it isn't always going to be like wealth, of like financial wealth. It'll look like the faith as well. And so like a saint like Saint Josephine Bakhita, like she was a slave, like rough life, but she was one of the happiest people on earth because she had the faith. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to that is the reason why I decided to be a Vagabond missionary and go back into ministry.
Because you wanted people to thrive, not just survive.
Thrive, not survive, because I'm tired. And like, because so George Floyd, you heard him like yelling out for his mom, grandma, and like you never, like he didn't say daddy, you know, he said mama. And like me growing up without a father in my life, I know that a lot of other kids do the same. They grow up without a father as well. And so what I've learned over the years from Father Scott, Father Carter Griffin, from Father Rod Walsh, from like many priests around the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C., and also like other, like I have a cousin who passed away. He was really monumental in my life as well. He kind of like stepped in as a father figure for me in ways. I had those examples. And a lot of times these kids on the streets and the projects, they don't have an example of what it means to have a good male role model, a good mentor in their life. And so a lot of times they see, I mean, yeah, they see what you see in the hood if you ever take a little drive around, you know? And so I wanted to be a part of that change. I just get tired of seeing, my brothers and sisters being killed.
What does that look like? What does that look like when you're getting messages, you know, being told to just survive, just get by? Like, what reinforces that, dude? Is it stay in your lane, don't make waves, you know, pipe down, keep quiet? Like, what are people telling us when they're just trying to keep us in a survival mode?
I mean, I think, so what I was speaking of is that like what my mom knew, she doesn't know how to, my mom wasn't taught how to thrive financially. And so she just teaches me how to like, hey, save up, like not to like invest. You can like invest your money in the stock, like in capital and like whatever. Not saying that I do those things, you know what I mean? But like, I'm buying a house.
You weren't on the GameStop Robin Hood train.
There you go.
No, I would have liked some of that bread. I'm just saying, I could have done with some of it, you know.
Did you do
good thing for my youth group, just for my youth group, not for me, not for Patty, you know, not like a bunch of toupees or anything like that. No, like, you know, I'd have blessed the people of God. I'd have blessed the people of God with something, you know, maybe something to look at, maybe something a little different, you know.
Why didn't you just go with the body yet, man?
Oh, you know, like laziness wins, man.
Come on, you got to come home. You got to come home, Pat. Just go.
Go the whole way, not halfway.
Remember, Michael Jordan did it.
That's true, and he and I have a lot in common. We are very. We're basically the same person. When people confuse me you'd be walking around in I mean, not Permane Brothers, because you'd be donking on some Permane Brothers. But like, okay, so you're at Subway eating fresh. We're gonna get this sponsorship. I promise you, we're getting this Subway sponsorship. And people are like, you know, oh, you're Steelers, man. Yin's a Steeler. Yin's a Steeler. Yin's one of them Steelers. Can we have an autograph? I'll pay you $60 for an autograph right now.
Cali accent at the end. What?
my Pittsburgher is basically Tally. Yeah. So that's what I get when I'm at Taco Bell. When I'm at Taco Bell, people are like, you know, oh, he's Michael Jordan. He's Michael Jordan.
Why they gotta have a Latino accent, man? Why they gotta be from El Salvador, man? Oh, that's Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael Jordan. He's Michael Jordan.
Oh, you played you
both of them.
Huh?
Both MJ and Michael B. Jordan from
there you go.
Black Panther.
Creed.
People think I'm them all the time.
Awesome. So why Vagabond? Like, out of all the missions you could have been doing, why Vagabond?
So in Philly, I was working with Vagabond, trying to get them to come to Philadelphia. I was scoping out a few different spots. So it was already a relationship built there. And when things were going south in the Archdiocese for my job, the president, his name is Andy, he asked me like 3 times. He said, hey man, you want to come work for us? And I'm like, nah, man, I'm just too hurt from ministry right now, from like the church. It's just, I'm I don't know. I guess I was just so naive coming into like a archdiocesan role and job, and thinking that church people make mistakes too. Put it that way, and so I was just I was like, no, I'm done with ministry. I don't want to go through this again, and so that I already had a relationship with him, so that's why I was like, it's such an easy transition. He had asked me 3 times. My girlfriend at the time, now fiance, she said, I think you should pray about it. And so I did a novena to Saint Anthony of Padua, my confirmation saint. And then at the end of it, my love for nursing school was still like right there for nursing. I was like, I want to do this still, but like I just was like on fire for like just doing ministry. And so I was like, man, I know it had to come from God, because I was already like, my ministry level was like here. I was like, it's no shot I'm ever doing this again. And then it just, Holy Spirit was like, no, I'm calling you. And I'm like, okay, if it's another situation like last time, I will never do it again.
Can you hit us with a memory that like you knew you were in the right place, like when you started? Is there a moment where you were like, man, this is, and it could appear in many ways. Some of my best moments in ministry were like, I'm right where I need to be, is when I got cooked by a group of kids or playing basketball. And then I was like, all right, I'm supposed to be here. Probably not on the basketball court, but I'm supposed to be here ministering to these kids at this time. Was there a moment like that for you where you kind of got that moment like, thank you, Lord, like I'm where I need to be?
I think it's been so many, honestly. Like, so one of the moments was when there's this one team who's been like super consistent. So we're a brand new site where I'm at. So we're starting from 0 and go out, play basketball with these kids. And this one team is like, I want to keep playing basketball. I want to keep hanging out. I want, we had to continue that mentorship relationship. And he said, you want a water? And I said, yeah, I'm kind of thirsty, bro. He was like, I know, man, because your lips chapped. Let me go upstairs and let me get you some water real quick.
Yo.
I'm like, this kid, man, he funny. He bold too. He don't care, he give you that bite back. And he said, his grandma said, why don't you invite him upstairs and have him come up? And he was ashamed of where he lives because his living situation doesn't look, he lives in the projects. But I just remember like going upstairs to a house and I met like everybody. I met the entire family. And so he lives with his grandma. And the grandma, she was just singing me praise. Like she was like, so what are you doing? I see my grandson hanging out with you a lot lately. I don't know who you are. You a grown ass man playing basketball with a 7.
You're looking like you should be in the NFL. You play for one of the Steelers.
Right.
Yen's one of them Steelers. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I love me some Pittsburgher. Weird place.
It is so strange. It's kind of like they're a city, but they got a country accent to them. It's so strange.
Yeah, it is weird.
But yeah, it's like getting to know like the entire family. She was like grilling me a little bit, but then she was like, "Oh, what you do is phenomenal. I'm so glad that there are people like you who are ministering to my grandson who doesn't have a mentor. He doesn't have a big brother. He doesn't have anybody that can lead him in a way that you've been led. And so I just appreciate your time that you've given." And I'm like,
it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm like, that's good.
That's it.
Love. That's love.
Yeah.
And it's so Vagabond Missions is specifically looking for, right, or doing ministry in inner city, right, in the urban environments. Like that's its purpose.
Yeah. So actually they're in one site in Greenville, North Carolina, and that's not like city, I don't think. I think it's pretty country out there. But yeah, I think yeah, just in anywhere where there's really a need, so we're out in Wichita, Kansas, and because a lot of people think like, oh, you're just ministering to Black people. Well, it's like, no, out in Wichita, we have probably like over 100 kids who are Latino that come to
In Kansas?
Yeah, man, it surprised me too.
What?
Yeah, but they're deep.
That's awesome.
They're deep out there. And so they have a whole Latino team dedicated because they only speak Spanish, you know. So it's like second generation, sometimes first generation.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, just anywhere where there's really a need, where like, because I mean, I've noticed this when, yeah, just in my time of really being Catholic, that if you aren't a white young adult who lives in the suburbs or lives in the city, then you're not going to get any attention from the church. So we're reaching those people, those demographics that aren't that, and especially that are teens, young adult. Well, I should say some teens too. Typically, if you
I was gonna ask for a rewind on that one. Why do you think the church? And I agree with you. Why do you think the church kind of misses or glosses over this particular population? Why is it that the church isn't answering that?
I mean, in America, because the church is like universal. Obviously, it's like Catholics in Africa, Australia, like Germany, whatever, all over the place. But like in America, I think racism just runs so deep still, and it's not necessarily like active racism, but like I think some of those things can be just like, oh, I'm not racist. I got a black friend. Like, y'all know how many times I'm sure y'all done heard that. Like, I'm not racist. I love Chinese food. Or it's like, sure, dude, whatever. But I think there's like certain prejudices and that's just been like passed down. That also has just turned into being comfortable. So typically you're more comfortable talking to somebody who looks like you. So I'll every day, like if I walk down the street and I'm guilty of this too. If I see a black dude walking down the street, I give him the head nod because I'm like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Like we got a connection. If I see a white guy, I'm more like hesitant sometimes. Like, well, let me get out of his way. I don't know what he's like, what he up to. You know, I just get a little suspicious sometimes. And I mean, I've been. I mean, that's just me being real. You know what I mean? I've been guilty of that. Other times I'm like, all right, yeah, he's just another guy. And my fiance is white, you know, and like her whole family is too. So I mean,
I hear you.
Human, you know, I'm not. Either. But I think it is. I think that the church in America is ran by mainly white people, and they do what they're comfortable doing. Typically, it's talking and ministering to people who look like them. And so I think it takes a lot to get out of your comfort zone. Obviously, Jesus did it with the woman at the well. You know, he got out of his comfort zone and brought a lot of peace and unity among that woman and healing.
And we've talked about that in the past and just kind of how to answer that kind of thing. But I don't know why. I mean, just a soft spot. As soon as you were talking about like walking down the street and you see a black person or whatever, I immediately, for some reason, thought of The Office when Stanley. Remember Pat?
When the Stanford and Scranton merger happens, and Martin, the new guy, it like goes to Stanley, and he's like, you know, what's up, Stanley? What's up? What's up with this place? Stanley's not having it. Stanley's just like, he doesn't give him the time of day. He doesn't care. Like he's like, you know, now that you're the other brother in this office now, like I don't have anything for you.
There you go.
I've never seen The Office.
Never. It took me a while. It took me like till this year, last year to really get into it. I wasn't into it at first, but then now I like love it. So, but I gave it up, so I can't even watch it. All right, and yet with all these realities in the American church, man, as we kind of wrap up here, you're still wanting to give and pour yourself out, man. So just on behalf of like the church and with Father Pat, like thank you too, like for doing it. How can we support you? How can we help your mission? What can we do, bro? Besides break out the ones and give it to you.
Come on now. I ain't gonna get on that pole and start shaking now.
No, come on.
But we will do something. We will get Permani Brothers or something. You know,
yeah, can we send over some Permani Brothers to Yins out there?
On your sandwich.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that y'all can do to support me is pray for my teams that I work with. That's huge. We started off with 1, and now we got like 6 consistent kids coming to our programs. So it's I mean, in the middle of COVID still, and it's cold outside, so it's like really difficult to try and gain traction and whatnot.
Pittsburgh cold hits different.
Oh my gosh, bro. No, you have no idea. It snows every day out here. It feels like I'm in Minnesota right now.
There you go.
I'm not about it. But I would say that's the biggest way to support me. Just praying for the kids that they have a conversion, that they keep coming around, that they enjoy the underground and the programs that we have to offer.
That's what's up. And if someone did want to put up or shut up or put in some money on next to that prayer, where could they go?
What is it? vagabondmissions.com/donate.
Oh, yeah. /donate. I'll add that to the description here. vagabondmissions.com/donate. That's good, man. Father Pat, anything? Parting words?
Oh man. Santonio, we're gonna have to pull you back in for some more conversations.
Oh, we have to. We ended it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We set ourselves up for this. So there's gonna if you're up for it, we got to pull you back in and get some more hot takes on things and pick that brain of yours, because honestly, you done opened a can for me. there's a host of thoughts, and I'll limit myself to one. I have felt this, obviously from a different perspective, a different angle, because I'm definitely the guy that's like, allowed to thrive. I don't have to ask permission. I've just been given, a whole lot of opportunity to thrive, and that's, been gifted upon me, been visited from above. Has nothing to do with who I am or what I've done. It's just, what I've been, given a boost up on. But I know for a fact, and not because of where I'm assigned as a priest right now, but just from paying attention, or trying to pay attention at least, I know for a fact that the church does not just look like the way that I'm used to worship, right? And I think this is something that comes up, very obviously in seminary, but until like you have an experience of like, bigger church, whether that's World Youth Day or like NCYC or conference or something, or just something that gets you like into a bigger pond, a bigger pool of people, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to realize like, what that Catholic universality looks like. But I think you put your finger on it, man. If I could just like kind of echo something that you mentioned, it's that, the experience of church isn't universal. It's not one way. But people think that, and then we can reinforce that in our own pews. So like this is part of the conversation that we're going to pick up someday. But like, it's how we make our church an experience where it's not just like, you're doing that wrong, like, or that's not how we sing that here.
That's not how the Vianney pose goes.
It's a 33-degree angle.
It's gotta be a Z.
Right, exactly. And it's how do we church in a way that like makes us reflect the true glory of God. Anyway, I love it. I can't wait to give you another soapbox, because I'm feeling something right now.
Definitely. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been rocking with the best, the Holy Ruckus podcast. Santonio, thanks so much, man, for being with us. And we're praying for you. And then we're gonna send some ducats your way. No ones though.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's been great.
All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel so called, so moved, please do like and subscribe, but also follow my man at Santonio_Hill and Vagabond Missions as well, to find out more about what the great stuff that they're doing. And I know there's a podcast coming out as well. I've been looking at your Instagram, or Vagabond Missions. They're doing a podcast. So that's great, man. Santonio, thanks so much.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, y'all, man.